I said salute to the untouchable True School Sports Empire.
That's
Taking
right, the
over
untouchable.
not only the South Florida boxing scene, but the worldwide boxing scene.
It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
All right, Brendan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm here at Centeno's Sweatbox Gym watching some sparring in the Bentley with whom? None other than the main man himself, Peter Kahn. What's up, Peter?
What's up, man? How you doing? Always good to have you around.
Yes. It's great to be around.
You're a good guy. You're doing a great job for boxing as a whole, and you give a voice to all the fighters down here. So that's much appreciated.
Yeah, and I'm honored to have the privilege to do that. Can't take it for granted.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. So Peter, you got a lot of fighters that people like to talk about. I mean, I know you got Xander Zayas, who seems like he's shooting up the rankings and he's getting closer and closer to becoming that next Puerto Rican star. Talk about Xander. How do you feel about him? Where he's at right now?
Xander's great. Xander just turned 20 years old. Besides being a great prospect / contender, he's a great person. He's a great representative of Puerto Rico. He's a hard worker. I still remind people he's a baby.
That's crazy.
He's a baby. He's 15-0, and still a work in progress. And taking our time and working very closely with Top Rank to continue to get the proper opponents to help him grow, so that when it's time for him to step up to World Championship, challenge, it's not that we're not there to challenge. We're there to win. Oh. And I think that he hasn't even come into his man strength yet. So we're moving at a really good pace. Like I said, he's 20 years old. Just turned 20 in September, and he's already 15-0. And I think we keep stepping up the opposition. And look, he's been getting the rounds in and just keeps improving, and I'm just so excited. I love working with him. He's just, like I said, a great human being, and a great client.
Oh, absolutely. Are you guys going to campaign at 154 long term, or will he eventually be at 60 when he challenges for a title?
His body's going to determine that.
Okay.
His body's going to tell him where it's most comfortable. Okay. So, as a manager, I leave that in the hands of him, his trainers, Javier Centeno, and his father, Orlando Garcia. They're on top of that. He works with perfecting athletes. So they've got that under control. They'll know when it's time to move up, and they'll know how long he should stay. I think the key, though, is whatever's best for his health, and whatever's going to allow him to perform the best is what's going to determine that.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask is because, with him being at 54, a lot of the top 54 pounders are with PBC and whatnot, and sometimes there's those politics they talk about in boxing. So I always thought it would be kind of like a challenge for Xander to get the big fights at 54 because he's not with, Al Heyman and them.
That's now.
Yeah,
that's right now.
Yeah.
So right, if that was going to be next month, sure, that's an issue. But the landscape of that division, I believe, is going to change over the next couple of years, and I believe that when Xander is ready to challenge and win a world title, whether it's at 154 or 160, we'll see what the landscape is. Look, this is boxing.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect,
no.
Right? So the one way you make it perfect is you win an eliminator, become a mandatory. And it doesn't matter who has who, and I've had success in forcing those situations. And we'll see. I mean, who knows what it's going to look like by the time he's ready to fight for a world title. And who also knows? Maybe it's such a good fight that it's an easy fight to make. I think that's something that we'll figure out as we get closer to that becoming a reality. Right now, it's just about keep getting better, keep fighting, and keep moving forward.
Okay. One thing that you told me earlier that was pretty interesting is the big Georgian dude. I can't say his last name.
Nikoloz Sekhniashvili.
Yes.
But we just call him Nika.
Yeah. Big hands, punches like a mule.
Yep.
Just had a big win on the Montana Love card, big dominant win on the card. I know you said Jahi Tucker was calling him out.
Well, no, Jahi Tucker called out Xander.
Xander, that's what it was. Okay.
At the post-fight press conference after Xander's last fight, and because I guess Jahi couldn't make weight, and so he announced he's moving up to 154. And, you know, Xander was very professional about it and basically told him, look, I don't want to put you out of business, so there's still some room for you to grow. But Nikoloz, he challenged Jahi on social media and said, you know, I think it was, come to Papa, I'll be gentle. And so he did that and he followed it up, and then Jahi responded, I believe it was let's go champ. So I think it's up to Top Rank now to lock that in. But I think both these guys are ready to go, and I think that's a 9-0 against 8-1. Two really good fighters. I think it would be a great fight.
Yes, I mean, I think so. I mean, just on the fact that Nika, the way he punches and it comes forward. I mean, I feel like he's gonna go looking to make it a fight. He's not gonna look at a box.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting better as his boxing's getting better. He's putting his punches together. He's growing and developing. He already has the power, right? So you can't teach power. He already has the power. His one loss was a great learning experience for him. No excuses. He fought an 11-0, but I will tell you he was injured. And then we found out after he had 2 herniated discs and a bulging disc in his back. He was afraid that if he told us that we were going to send him back to Georgia. So he never told us, and he literally fought injured, which he now knows was not the right thing to do. The right thing to do would have been to tell us. We would have helped him get the rehab, and then we would have brought him right back. But you live and you learn. The one thing I tell all the fighters that I work with, the one thing you can't shortcut is experience. And I think he learned that if you're going to go into a fight injured like that and not be able to perform at 100%, you're putting yourself at a real disadvantage. And this isn't tennis. I mean, you can get hurt in here. So, you know, that was a learning experience, but he's come back. He had this great fight in November, and now hopefully Jahi Tucker really does accept that challenge, and that would be a great fight for the two of them.
No, absolutely. You also have, I know you have Charlie Sheehy, Aaron Aponte. Who else is in your stable right now? You got.
Wow, so Charlie Sheehy should be fighting in March.
Okay.
Going for fight number 6. He's with Top Rank. Avril Matthews fighting February 4th against Ramla Ali on the Matchroom show at Madison Square Garden. That's a great card at the Hulu Theater on DAZN. Aaron Aponte is also on that card. Alien King. I was so impressed with Aaron's last fight. And people go, but he had a draw. Yeah, but he had a draw against an undefeated, really good opponent who is not an opponent in the terms of opponent.
Yeah.
He was also a prospect, and both fighters stepped up to the challenge.
Canelo's prospect.
One of Canelo's prospects. So yeah. Canelo was testing him, and Eddie and Matchroom were testing Aaron, and I believe that both of those guys showed that they are going to be forces in the sport. They both showed a lot of heart. Both guys got knocked down. Both guys controlled the action at certain times. It was like a story, like 2 different fights, you know. And what it showed me is that Aaron has something that you just can't teach, which is heart. And you never know if a guy has it until he walks through that fire. You throw him in the deep waters, and that's when you learn. And Aaron, as far as, you know, he was very disappointed that he had a draw. Eddie came up to him in the dressing room after, said, can't wait to have you back. He said, you know, you really showed a lot. I mean, he even told him, he's like, look, you made this fight a lot more complicated on yourself.
He could have just sat there and boxed.
Could have boxed, stay in the middle of the ring, it was working. But, you know, that's part of the learning. That's part of the experience. You got to learn. And I wish more fighters and managers were open to understanding that a draw or even a loss is not a death sentence in this sport. You know, making good fights and good competition and guys having the ability to learn in their, you know, 7th or 8th or 9th fight, that's invaluable, especially now that I know he has the confidence that he knows who he is and he knows what he's capable of. And I think it also gives you an opportunity to go back to the gym, to work on things, and get better, and then show that in your next fight. He's fighting a guy that's 8-1.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that fight. I can't wait. Sheehy's in March. I just signed Henry LeBron Moncho, and he's look. I basically the way I explain it, I was brought in. You know, we're on the 1 yard line, right? And Henry and I have been talking for a year. He's done a great job by himself, but it's time to put a little muscle behind it and help get him to that world title challenge. We're doing that. Of course, one of my favorite people in the whole world, Franchon Crews DAZN.
Oh, that's right.
The undisputed super middleweight and Ring magazine champion, the heavy hitting diva. Don't be scared. And she's a great fighter. We tried to make the fight with Savannah Marshall.
I'm glad I was gonna ask that.
So Franchon flew out to London, was there for the Shields fight, and I had been talking with Savannah Marshall's promoter, with Boxer, and we thought we were getting somewhere with making a fight, and we were giving Savannah an opportunity. We were willing to go to London to fight her and put all of those belts on the line, but it's not happening. I think she's looking at a rematch with Claressa Shields. We'll see. It's none of our business, but we will have some news shortly. Franchon will have an optional defense, and then we're happy to fight whoever, wherever, whenever after that. So hopefully she'll fight 2 to 3 times in 2023. But she's just such a smart person, good person, hard worker, and look, she's undisputed. That's very hard to do. And so Franchon, working with Chris Van Heerden. Chris and I have been together 5 years. I love that guy. Chris had a tough go with Conor Benn.
Oh yeah.
But you know, we keep moving forward. I mean, Chris has fought nothing but elite level fighters.
Oh my God.
I mean, look at Chris. I mean, you know, I think it's 28-3-1. The real only losses in his career were Errol Spence and Conor Benn. The one other loss was early on, as he went to Serbia to fight a Serbian. You know, but other than that, have Christina Cruz, another excellent fighter who's fighting January 20th in Orlando. Jasmine Artiga, another undefeated female fighting, has a good fight also January 20th. Kitty Tapia, excellent prospect,
Just signed her,
out of Puerto Rico. She's beat Michaela Mayer in the amateurs, has another she's fighting her pro debut on the 20th. Just trying to run through my roster.
Yeah,
it's hard sometimes.
Busy guy, man.
Hard sometimes. Yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out. Emmanuel Tego fought Ryan Garcia. We're working on his visa to get him back in the U.S. And pick that back up. What else? I don't know, if you remember, let me know. But I mean, I hate leaving people out. I'm just trying to go through. I mean, that's a lot of people.
That is a lot. It's a lot.
Junior Union, 17-0-1. Junior's super middleweight, undefeated. He actually got sick. He was going to fight on the 20th, but had to pull out because he's sick. So you know, he had to abandon camp. But he's another great fighter. But you know, if you remember, let me know.
I'll let you know. But it sounds like you ran through. Pretty
good, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of people, man.
Good.
It's a lot of people.
Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.